Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. I read that again. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. I just want to speak briefly on the Kundalini awakening, stolen Christ consciousness. Now, I've had the opportunity to watch quite a few videos on YouTube on people that had negative experiences with Kundalini awakening. People had positive, as they claim, experience with Kundalini awakening. I've always found that to be quite interesting, even going as far back as the 70s. I had to be about 14 or 15 years old when I took interest in that. Fortunately, I never had to try awakening my Kundalini energy, because everything that people saying, just about everything that people saying that they experienced, I experienced from a child coming up. I'm one of those people that were born with a veil. I'm one of those people that were born gifted in several ways. And from a child, I've witnessed dark energy. I've witnessed and experienced what they call out of the body experience as a child. When it comes to that energy at the base of your spine, I think it's there not for human use. Although people may say, well, it's a part of us, it's ours, so I have the power, the know-how to awaken it. And those people that choose to try to open or awaken their Kundalini are people that try to reach what they perceive or call Christ consciousness. And they don't realize that they're playing on extremely dangerous grounds. Now, I've seen videos where this one woman was crying out for help. And she was talking about the experiences that she was going through. She made one video on YouTube. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to put that video link on the bottom and you guys check it out. I would love to talk to that woman. Okay. There's a brother that also spoke on his experience with awakening Kundalini. I'm going to also put his video on the bottom and you guys check it out. But what I've noticed from the videos that I've watched on YouTube, there are so many people that's treating what they call Kundalini awakening. They're treating it like some type of drug. Like they're trying to reach some type of high. They hear other people having certain experiences and they claim that it's peaceful. They claim that they have obtained knowledge and spiritual enlightening. So that makes other people want that. So they make the choice to dabble into something that they really don't understand. And then they experience the night terrors that come with it because they have so much negative energy and wrongdoing and sins within themselves that when their Kundalini energy awakens, it attempts to flush out all of that negativity. And in the end result, in many cases, it drives you insane or it pushes you to commit suicide. Not only that, awakening that Kundalini energy could also put you in a position to become so vulnerable that you become demonic possessed. Because these entities will begin to start appearing to you. And they will lie to you and make you think that they are your spirit guide. So you will welcome them. And there's what they call walk-ins, where you have these spirit beings that will walk inside and function inside of you. So it's very dangerous to tamper with Kundalini energy. It's actually stealing, thieving Christ consciousness. It does not make you righteous. It does not make you holy. It does not put you among the righteous, among the sheepfold, among those that will experience paradise. But it would only push you further and further into the depths of hell. So this may be a warning to those of you who choose to tamper with Kundalini energy. Like I mentioned, myself, I never really had to dabble in that. My mind was curious. I've been curious like since the 70s of transcendental meditation, because at that time, that was how people were able to awaken their third eye or their Kundalini energy, by transcendental meditation, which I really don't hear too much about that in today's time. In my teens, I used to read up on that. I never attempted it or maybe tried to do it. Just like I was curious about Ouija boards, but there was always something that was keeping me from dabbling into that, although my mind was curious about that. And like I said, I think that there's a balance to everything. And although people have become aware of that energy in the base of your spine, it is not to be played with or tampered with. There's a balance to everything. And if you're not prepared or equipped to awaken that energy, do not touch it. It took me a whole lifetime to get to the place where if a being appeared before me, I'm used to it. It wouldn't scare me. As a child, I've seen so much. I've seen demons. I've seen angels. I've traveled. What they perceive as Akashic records, I've seen those. And when you first experience it, it's frightful. And keep in mind, these are things that I've experienced as a child coming up. So my mind was a lot pure at that time. My mind had not really experienced life as I know life now. And I think that when it comes to adults that start tampering with that, and they have so much stuff that's repressed inside themselves, they have a negative energy because they themselves are negative because of the wickedness and the evil things that they've done throughout their lifetime, that they're not even aware that's there. So you have to be coached and walked into that gracefully. You just can't one day say, I'm going to awaken my Kundalini energy, and I'm going to be in bliss. I'm going to have all of these spiritual gifts. I'm reminded of one of the apostles, Peter, I think it was Peter that was performing these miracles. And there was a witch that saw him, that were able to cast out demons in the name of Jesus. And he wanted that power. And end up saying, and what he did was he went to someone that was demon possessed. It's been a while since I read that, so I'm trying to remember that scripture, how it actually was. He went to someone that was demon possessed and say, I adjure you by the Jesus that Paul preaches, come out of him. And then the Spirit spoke to him and says, Paul I know and Jesus I know, but who are you? And it said that spirit, those demons attacked that man and rent that man, and that man ran naked and beat up. So it's a dangerous thing, man, to tamper with things that you really don't understand. And those people and you can usually tell people that have actually experienced those things, because most of the videos that I watched, I got the impression that the people were lying, because like I said, everybody's looking at that as some type of drug, like where they're trying to reach this type of high. So now everybody's making a video saying my Kundalini experience. And then when you listen to them, you know that they're lying. They're deceiving themselves. So not everybody online that's making videos claiming to have experienced the Kundalini awakening have actually experienced it. They're not all telling the truth. They're lying. And out of all the videos that I've watched, I say that there's maybe 3 people that have actually experienced something. Whether or not it was a Kundalini awakening or not, they've experienced something. One was this woman. I'm going to put her video on the bottom. You guys check it out. Where I believe this woman is demon possessed. 2 was his brother that was talking about what he experienced when he awakened his Kundalini. And he said that later on, he learned that it was a lot of negative energy that he had within him that caused that type of reaction when he awakened his Kundalini. Now, whether or not it was fully awakened or not, it's a totally different story, but his experience is real. And then there's a young lady that she as well, I believe, had tapped into something. She spoke about her experience, but yet when you listen to her, it's like she's getting information from somewhere. She's a lot wiser to be so young, So, and it affects different people in different ways, But there are people that's trying to steal Christ's consciousness. They're trying to take something that is not theirs. And when you do that, you set yourself up for failure. Because you're not ready for it. You think you are, but you're not ready for it, because you'll end up going crazy. You'll end up committing suicide. And the brother even mentioned in this video, he thought several times of committing suicide because of the pain that he had to deal with on a daily basis. The images that he was seeing when he closed his eyes at nighttime. I've experienced that coming up. And I've never, awakened my Kundalini energy, as they say. I really don't need to. Because the Most High had already blessed me with a gift that had to develop throughout my life. And it's still developing. It's still not at its full potential. It's a lifetime of development. So you can't take a lifetime. You can't take a lifetime of development and compress it into maybe a week or a month or a few days. You just can't do that. And I've always wondered, those people that refer to it as Christ consciousness, how can you obtain Christ consciousness without Christ? Because you hear so many people that speak negative of the church or religion and even Christ, but yet they claim to obtain Christ consciousness. There's no way you can do that. Yeshua says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man can come to the Father but by me. He's the door. And if anyone go any other way other than that door, the same is a thief and a robber. You're stealing something that's not your own, and you're setting yourself up for damnation. Just point blank. And there's people that may not like what I have to say. And this may just serve as a warning to you. You want to obtain Christ consciousness without Christ. And you can't do that. You cannot do that at all. So Kundalini awakening, stolen Christ consciousness. You're playing with fire. I know people, and I spoke of this one young man in videos of the past, where he started dabbling, started reading different books, and now that I think back on it, that's exactly what happened, because he ended up going crazy. I know a few people that end up going crazy. You know, they started going crazy. He's walking down the street barefooted in the cold weather, walking on glass and rocks, just out of his mind, just lost his mind. Very brilliant mind, too. He was young. He had to be about, like I say, 19, 20 years old, about 19 when I met him. But then when this happened to him, and he started listening to everybody, man, and I say around 22, 23 years old, he lost his mind. You know, I know another guy, he's an older guy that lost his mind. You know, dabbling in the things that you really don't understand. There's another world out there that you can't understand. And I'm going to tell you something. There are entities that's sitting there waiting for an opportunity to possess you. Like the brother said, like the video I'm going to place on the bottom, he said that when his eyes opened up, when his third eyes opened up, he started seeing monsters, man. He started becoming aware of things around him, unseen realities around him that he couldn't see, but he felt them. That's how awakened or sensitive your body becomes. I know that feeling because I've experienced that. But because of the fact that my development came from a child up, it didn't really bother me. All my screaming and nightmares and waking up screaming at nighttime and all that stuff occurred when I was a child. And so as I got older, I got used to seeing that stuff. I got used to experiencing that. So now as an adult, if I see things, now my sons, they started experiencing things as a child too, you know, and they haven't reached their full potential, you know, and it still scares them a little bit when they see things or when certain things appear to them. You know, it's just natural. It's something that happened. And like I said, there's a balance to everything. And you have to develop into that. You just can't say, I'm going to awaken my Christ consciousness, or I'm going to awaken my Kundalini energy, or I'm going to open my third eye. You have no idea what you're doing. It's shut for a reason. And the reason why your third eye have not opened is because of the fact that it's for a reason. It's because you're not ready. You're not prepared to see those things. And people, in most cases, people that I've seen that have actually done that are people that are demon possessed, that have lost their mind. The crazy house is full of people that open their third eye or that awaken what they perceive their Kundalini energy. You know, the nut house is full of people like that. And I was talking to someone just last week, and I was telling them, just because a person is in a nut house, that don't mean they're crazy. It does not mean that they're crazy. It could just mean that they have done something or dabbled into something they really had no business. And on Facebook, just yesterday, I put a meme up that says, when you lose your mind, you become awakened when you lose your mind. That's when you really become awakened, is when you lose your mind. And people around you won't understand you. They will not understand you. They will look at you as strange and crazy. You have lost your mind. People will begin to start separating themselves from you, don't want nothing to do with you, because you're weird. They will look at you as weird, but they don't realize that you're being controlled and manipulated and even surrounded by demonic energy. Demonic energy that you invited into your life. And it will begin to start affecting not only you, but also those around you as well. Your immediate family, your household. I know this woman in Florida that's a Jehovah's Witness. And last time I saw her when I was in Florida, I was at her house, man, and you can just feel the darkness, the negative energy in her house. Her son knows about that dark energy because she went to root workers and she was dabbling in the roots. Actually, she just wasn't dabbling. She was into roots, witchcraft or voodoo, however you want to, term that. But she's possessed with a lot of demons. And she calls sometime, man, and she just talks some crazy things. And I think I mentioned her in a video of the past where she had a daycare business. And it's like those spirits that were surrounding her, man, was causing everything that she do in her life to fail. So when she had that daycare center, man, it's like she advertised people will come, but then they won't last, or they would get lost and they can't find a place. So her business never took off from the ground. And she have nightmares. She doesn't sleep. She's always talking about the demons and how they're screaming. She hears them. They talk to her. So she just dabbled into something that she really didn't understand. Or she probably crossed somebody. She might have crossed somebody that was into that and somebody vexed her. And of course, and another thing too, she will preach to you about the Bible because she's Jehovah's Witness. But then in the same turn, she'll start talking about, roots and the demons and different things like that. She is completely out of her mind, but she's awakened. She's awakened in a very negative way because you can be awakened. And just because you are awakened don't mean that you are spiritually, righteously awakened or aware or enlightened is the word I want to use. Doesn't mean that you're righteously enlightened. It just means that you are awakened to the nature of yourself, which is darkness. So if you're dark, if your heart is dark, if your motive is dark, guess what type of results you're going to get from opening your third eye or Kundalini energy? You will reap nothing but darkness. And that's when people lose their mind. They lose themselves and their families. And your children, in many cases, will become cursed if you're not careful. So be careful when you're stealing Christ's consciousness. That Kundalini energy that many people are using as a drug. And that's what it is. When you surf YouTube, all you will see is videos on people. I've awakened my Kundalini energy, my experience. And you got people that play with that, man, and you have not. And you can tell they're lying. Those that are really enlightened, those that have really experienced the unseen realm will know you're lying. Now, you may deceive those people that don't know, and you got people that's listening to you, and they're thinking that what you're telling them is true. So then they start following your steps on trying to awaken their Kundalini energy, and all that you become a minister of Satan, man, because you're causing someone else to destroy themselves. You're causing someone else to end up committing suicide. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of suicide in this day and time. That's why we see a lot of transgenderism and homosexuality. That's why we're seeing a lot of depressed people walking around, because too many people are dabbling into the unseen realm. Too many people have contacted demonic forces that they call spirit guides. And they don't realize that those spirit guides are demons or entities that are trying to live inside of you, trying to function inside of you, and will function inside of you. So be very careful when you're dabbling into Kundalini energy. And I think I'm going to start making more videos about this on my Mood Decontrol channel and my Dream channel. Check out my Dream channel. I'm going to put the link on the bottom. And I usually use that channel to record, strange dreams that I usually have. That I record them so that when they come to pass, I have some type of record to show that I saw that before it actually occurred. But me personally, coming up, I'm going to tell you guys, you asking for something you really don't understand. Even people that are gifted and talented, a lot of times they really don't want that, man. It's like you were born with it. It's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because of the fact that the Most High favored you to be able to have or function in these type of gifts, it warns you, it protects you. These gifts, they do protect you. They warn you. They show you things before they come or they occur. They show you people before people come into your life. You'll lay down and have a dream, and you'll dream about someone or something, and it just warns you about things that's coming your way, so you know how to prepare yourself. Right? But at the same time, it's a curse because there's like so many lonely nights. Me growing up, man, it's like I had my family around me and all that. But there's times, man, that I was extremely lonely, man, because you can't talk to everybody about everything. So when I dreamt or I had visions or certain entities came to me, the only people I could really talk to was my mom or my family members, my sisters, let them know, because they understood me. They knew that's how I came into this world. But I couldn't just talk to anybody about that. So you become lonely, man. And then in relationships, man, you're with someone, but yet it's very limited to what you can say to them or what you can tell them, especially if you see things in their life or in their family's life. And you may try to warn them. You may try to warn them in a very subtle way, and then they get offended. They get offended because they don't want to see, they don't want to know, right? So you learn to kind of just keep your opinions to yourself. Or I may say things like, just be careful, drive safe, and some people may take offense to that, because we're living in times where people are offended by every little thing, man, But it's crazy when you see things and you can't say nothing about it. You see it, you know it, but you just can't say anything about it because a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand, man, and it's just crazy. So me coming up, man, it's like, there's times you get very lonely. Even you could be in the room with family. You can be in the room if you got a girlfriend, or if you're a woman, you're with your man, and it's like you're talented, or he may be talented and it's like you just can't, and they're gonna look at you as being peculiar or strange, but they don't understand. They just don't understand. But it's a lonely path, and if you are an outgoing person, if you love people, if you like going out partying, because I partied coming up. I was a little player coming up, but again, I was very selective on who I chose as a friend. I didn't have too many friends, man. I didn't take in too many people. I didn't allow too many people into my circle. You just don't, because you learn not to trust people, man. And it's not the people that you distrust, it's their energy that they bring with them, you know? And like I always say, I watch people's energies, man. And if your energy is not right, I don't have nothing to do with you, you know? So you learn to watch people's energy, you know, and you don't allow too many people into your circle, man, because you just have this knowing. And so just be careful. Just be careful. I'll start making more videos on spirituality and the Kundalini energy and the third eye and all this good stuff, man. But y'all be careful, man. Y'all be careful. And you people out there that's making these videos and you're lying talking about, Kundalini, my Kundalini experience, and you're doing that for views and whatnot. You got to be very careful, man. You reap what you sow, And if you're negative, if you got a lot of negative energy going on within you, man, you only invite demons into your circle. You're going to make those demons. I've heard preachers say in the past, man, like about people that go to church and get baptized or take communion. And it's like you go to church and you're not really ready. You're not ready to give up that person you're shacking up with. You're not ready to give up clubbing. You're not ready to give up illicit sex or drugs or what have you, and you want to live a double life, and you go to church and claim that you saved now, and you end up being baptized. I heard a preacher say you only make that demon in you stronger. That's all you're doing. You're just making that spirit inside you a lot stronger. When you come correct, man, that's when you get genuine, legit results, man. You don't have to tamper with any dark arts, and you don't have to tamper with trying to awaken your Kundalini energy, or you don't have to try to open your third eye, because it all comes natural. There's a balance to things, and the Most High will not put on you no more than you can handle. If He allow you to go through something, it's because He know you can handle it. And it's not going to be like a lot of these so-called testimonies that I'm hearing from people that chose to try to, activate their Kundalini energy. That's just demonic force right there, man, that you're dealing with. You tampered into something that you're really not ready for. So, like I said, when I have visions or dreams, like the one I just recently put on my dream channel, when I have visions or dreams and I'm traveling, because I've traveled many times, man. It's like I go to sleep and it's not, I can control them, but it's like I go to sleep and then next thing you know, I'm in this vision or I'm traveling somewhere. I'm used to that. So when it doesn't spook me out, man. It doesn't, because I'm used to it. It's been like 56 years I've been on this planet. And like I said, if I see something, it doesn't startle me, man. I'm used to it. Because I had to grow into that. I had to develop into that. So you people that's trying to get it, man, without trying to develop yourself first, you're headed for destruction. So feedback, tell me what you think. Subscribe. Check out the 2 links on this bottom. I'm going to also put a link to my dream channel. Go watch those videos, man, because they're interesting. And subscribe to my dream channel. Right? And then click on the PayPal link if you choose to and financially support this channel. Until next time, I'm fearless.